When I'm finding myself feeling disconnected from my partner, my friends, my family, it's almost always because I haven't been practicing this communication style that I'm going to be talking about in this video. Hi, my name is Amy, and in this video I'm going to be sharing with you 5 essential communication habits for deep and fulfilling relationships. And the habits that I'm going to be sharing with you come from a book that has completely changed my life, and it's called Nonviolent Communication, written by Marshall Rosenberg. And I just want to make it clear that this is a practice, and I am still practicing this. Some days I do a lot better at it, and some days I find myself finding it difficult. So go easy on yourself. Some people might find it easier than others, but for me, I've already been practicing this for like the last year, and I can see that I still have a lot of room to improve and grow. So number 1 is decoding feelings and needs. Something I've noticed is that society has not been set up in a way to teach us to feel our feelings, express our feelings, and also understand the needs behind our feelings, or understand the needs behind others' feelings. What you'll notice is, as you learn to feel your own feelings and understand your own needs behind how you're feeling, it will help you to observe other people's needs and feelings, because we're not at the stage at the moment where it is normal for us to be able to communicate what our needs are. For the most part, most people are kind of unaware of what their needs are behind the feelings, me included. And this is something that I have been trying to practice, to express what my needs are. So I'm going to give you an example. Let's say that someone comes to you and says, "Oh, you didn't call me back, you just don't care about me." So if that person has said that to you, maybe what you could do is observe what's happened in the moments before they have come out with this statement. Try to understand where they are drawing this conclusion from, and you might look at the situations and think to yourself, okay, I told them I would call them back and I didn't call them back, so therefore this person thinks I don't care about them. And maybe the need behind this feeling that is not being met for them at the moment is connection. What I could say to them is, okay, so what I'm hearing is that you think I don't care about you because I didn't call you back. And allowing that person to express instead of trying to defend ourselves, and by reflecting this back and also trying to understand where they're coming from, can really help the person to feel like you've really understood them, which is what most of us actually want when we are upset or feeling, negative emotion. We want to be listened to and understood. And this brings me to number 2, which is understanding. It's so embedded in our communication style. When someone else is expressing a need that's not being met, it's so easy to just jump straight to defending ourselves. And it's also really easy to jump straight to trying to find a solution before actually helping the person express how they're feeling and help them to feel really understood. I think a lot of us think we need to help the person to feel better. And this also comes with being able to feel comfortable with negative emotions. So if someone else is feeling really frustrated or angry or upset, sometimes we can feel really uncomfortable and want to bring them out of that state because it doesn't feel good for us. What really helps the person to move out of this negative feeling is to really understand, be with them whilst they're feeling this, and help them to express it fully. There's also another thing in the book that speaks about naming emotions. So maybe saying to them, okay, you feel frustrated because you think that I don't care about you and you wanted me to call you back. So that person might not feel frustrated, but by saying to them, okay, using your intuition to figure out how they feel, they might say, no, I don't feel frustrated. And then you might say, okay, are you feeling sad? Or so kind of helping them to really feel what they're feeling in their body. And then they might say, yeah, I do feel really sad. Really listen to everything that they're saying, and then reflecting back to them what they have said. So, you think that I don't care about you, instead of jumping straight to, I do care about you. What do you mean? You're actually trying to just understand their point of view as much as possible, and then they might say, yeah, I think you don't care about me. And then you can offer a resolution maybe, and I would ask them. So what it says in nonviolent communication is to ask the person, are you needing some reassurance in this moment? This brings you to finding the need that isn't being met. And then by saying to this person, you know, is it reassurance that you're looking for? They might realise, yeah, actually it is. And then you can go in and say, okay, well, I want to reassure you that I really do care about you and I care about our friendship. And in this way, the process has gone a lot smoother than just getting defensive and then kind of getting into an argument with that person. I hope that makes sense. Number 3 is something that I've noticed and observed since practicing nonviolent communication, and that is noticing where my attention has gone. So let's say that someone has started telling you that they're really upset, or they're just kind of accusing you of things and saying that you don't care about me, using the example before. Your attention might go straight to defensiveness and really noticing how you're feeling when this person is expressing themselves, and not letting yourself being completely taken by those feelings, but maybe bringing yourself back to your heart center. Sometimes we can get into this little cycle of like, we all of a sudden feel really defensive, and then we're like thinking about what we can say to like kind of win the argument. It's kind of trying to rewire yourself to not jump on those defensive patterns and really trying to bring your attention back. And this can be the most difficult part, I find, because sometimes when we are in these difficult conversations with people, we can get really triggered. And once we get triggered, sometimes that's just like everything's gone out the window. So I have noticed this with my partner, because some of the most difficult conversations I've had recently are with my partner. You know, navigating the world together and really understanding each other. And sometimes we can both be in like a triggered state, and it just brings us into this state of like disconnection, where we're not, it doesn't feel like we're operating from a place of love anymore. It feels like we're operating from this place of separation, and I'm right and you're wrong, and we're not in that state of really understanding each other. And sometimes when it gets to that point, it can be so difficult to bring yourself back. It might mean that you might need a little bit of time to get there and really like cool down or process everything that you're feeling, then bring yourself back to, okay, what I'm trying to understand what this person is saying, and without taking it personally. Sometimes when we start to take things personally, we really, our attention just goes away from helping the other person to express how they're feeling, and just goes straight into our own frame of reference. And maybe that's when we can start just making it more about us than the other person. So number 4 is paraphrasing, and this one is pretty much just repeating back to the person what you have heard from them. The reason why we do this is to, for one, get more understanding, make sure that we are fully understanding where the other person is coming from. If you paraphrase with this intention, when you fully understand, the other person is more likely to feel like you are understanding them and feel better about it if they can see that you're really making an effort to fully understand them before trying to help them find a solution or anything. I think this is really important as well, because you are basically trying to make sure that you have heard correctly what the other person has expressed, and then you can help them to express fully how they're feeling. Maybe you could, once you have practiced this a little bit more, try and help them to really understand how they're feeling. And it's not all about, you know, taking things personally anymore. It's more about really helping them to get to the depth of what it is that's making them feel the way that they feel. So number 5 is taking responsibility. With this, I am referring to taking responsibility for your own feelings. And that means if you are feeling upset, you don't say to the person, you made me feel upset, because that is putting the responsibility onto them. What you do is you express to the other person, I feel upset because I think you don't care about me. So in this way, you are taking full responsibility for the fact that I actually feel upset because I'm thinking this. Not you've made me upset because you don't care about me. Do you see the difference in those sentences? One is more likely to get a really defensive response from the other person, whereas the first one, where you take responsibility for how you're feeling, is more likely to get a compassionate response from the other person if you tell them exactly how you're feeling and not make it so that they have to feel like it was their fault or put it on them. I hope that makes sense. And that is it for today's video, guys. What do you think about this? Does this resonate with you? Does this sound familiar? Is this something that you guys practice yourself? Let me know in the comments below. If you want to see more of these videos that I'm going to be uploading, then I invite you to subscribe. But for now, I'll see you in the next video.